Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher, and today on Cricbuzz Live, I've got two debutants, and let me explain why I say this. I've got a debut actor and a debut skipper. Debut actor Joy Bhattacharya, who will clarify this himself, and debut skipper Harsha Bhogle, because you have been asked to lead the commentary side as skipper. Skipper, we've really missed you because you have forgotten your Cricbuzz friends.
I actually came in here and I said, oh, okay, which year, where should I sit? But your first line, you have dangled the bait to Joy. You've been working out.
No, the bait is you have to ask about his debut acting, not about the working out.
What have you done?
Of course,
That's
I'm
first
everywhere.
line.
Just you'll find out soon.
You're acting in a movie with her.
Hopefully, that would
I am
be
working
fun.
towards acting in a movie with
That
her.
would be
Details
fun.
will
I
follow.
thought you worked out because she only meets Sunny Deol these days.
That also is true. That she has a basic. You are exempt because you're fast.
No, why do you think I'm wearing full sleeve jacket, so that...
So I have got two naughty students on Cricbuzz. We can't let the naughty students get away. We have to get straight into what is happening. The great news is we have Harsha Bhogle with us, who we've missed terribly. But the really bad news is...
That Joy is here.
Thank you.
I thought that's where you were going.
Oh, Joyda is my
Sorry.
favorite. He's my ice cream companion for the next 20 days. So he's my favorite. But the bad news is that we're really going to miss Jasprit Bumrah. He has been ruled out of the Champions Trophy. So I want to get straight into that. Harsha, big blow. We know he's been spearheading India's bowling attack literally all on his back, and his back is not feeling totally okay.
It's like when families go through a financial crisis and they look to the breadwinner and say, hey. So whenever India's been in trouble over the last 12, 18 months, you've always looked and said, Bumrah hai. Whether it was the test series in Australia, where I saw the kind of awe I haven't seen for an Indian cricketer since Tendulkar, or whether it was the T20 World Cup, even the IPL in a losing cause. So it is huge. I think there's no doubt at all that he is by some distance India's number one asset today. So you're going into a tournament without your number one asset. But the good news is I think the structure of the Indian team they'll try and overcome that. If you can overcome Bumrah, look, he's not a star. You'll never overcome Bumrah, but Arshdeep will have to stand up and play that role. But
Joyda, we're discussing this. Is the scans aren't showing anything too much?
Yeah,
he said he's not feeling totally
I think that's the point. I mean, they're differing points of view, and I think the New Zealand doctor, Dr. Shoughton, he turned around and he said that he seems okay for what you call high impact action. Okay, the Indian medical team who were with him, they were slightly more circumspect, but I think the final call is Bumrah's. If Bumrah felt that he was not 100% fit and now 100% ready to do it, I don't think they wanted to take a chance like that. With a player with an asset like that, because I don't think, people will talk again that, they're keeping him for the IPL. The truth is, there's an England series just after that, which is a really vital away series. So I think there's no question that they're going to take a chance right now.
Yeah, also look, he hasn't bowled at all. So don't see him being fit for the first two games, fit enough to bowl. Then he goes, plays a game on the 2nd, plays a game on the 4th. If India make the final, plays a game on the 9th. So he's bowling 30 overs in a week. I don't know whether he's ready for that. He is scared of another stress fracture. So I remember it actually became very funny. On the last morning in Sydney, I don't have to do pitch reports or whatever. I had nothing to do. So I was standing by the pitch looking, pretending to be very important and seeing if I can understand something. And Jasprit was there all by himself. So I said, look, I don't know if I'll meet you again, but over the last 1.5 months, it's been one of the greatest joys of my life to watch you bowl. And he laughed and said, why you're not going to see me again? And he said, if I hadn't had a surgery, I might have considered bowling. But he said, given the surgery that I have, I can't bowl again. So he's not bowled for 5 weeks. Yes. So my feeling is he'll start bowling 4 overs and build up to play the test match. I don't see him playing all 5 tests either in England. So it's a big step up for this series, especially for Arshdeep. And I genuinely believe Arshdeep has the game. He's not a Bumrah, but he's the closest you can get to playing that role.
But, I had the good fortune of spending time with you in Australia and watching the great Bumrah live. Like you said, the atmosphere and just the hype around Bumrah is what Sachin Tendulkar used to bring to the field. But Joyda, he's bowled 150 overs in the BGD. There was one point where there was that stump mic where he said, nahi hoga mujhse aur. It was almost like going back to him whenever there was anything. So just a big ICC tournament. you look back and there's no Bumrah, there's just that daunting feeling like, oh, there is no Bumrah.
True. But if I have to say that if there's one tournament, there's a better chance of surviving without Bumrah, it is a Champions Trophy in conditions in Southeast Asia. That's or West Asia, or call it what you like. But this is your best chance where you can cover for him for doing other things, score a lot of runs, use a lot of spinners. You couldn't do this. If it was for, say, England, Bumrah is irreplaceable by a very far margin, or Australia. Here, in these conditions in Dubai, you have a chance of covering much more for him than you can cover anywhere else. So Indian think tank would have thought that out and would have said that perhaps this is the best way to go.
You know, just to give an idea of the awe that he creates in the opposition, I had no clue what was happening when I was having this conversation. After a while, we chatted about family and whatever. He had time, I had time. He was not going to bowl. Because I was chatting with him, all the cameras were on. When I switched on my phone after that, I've got messages from everybody. So what's the inner news? What's the story? Everybody from the network is all sitting in saying this guy knows the answer. And for all of us, for a while, sort of reflected glory. I was like, I've got 200 wickets myself.
Well, Harsha Bhogle always has all the answers. He's just humble about not having the answers. But Bumrah has been the player of the series.
Yes.
We know what he's done in ICC formats. He has missed one ICC tournament earlier. But Jadeja, the figures say it all.
It's unbelievable. Those are unbelievable figures. The strike rate, the economy rate, 4.17 in a T20 World Cup. I mean, unbelievable. And consistency across. I mean, this is just the last two ICC tournaments. Then you look at BGT, you look at everything he's done. He's by far and away the best bowler in the world. And therefore, missing him, of course they'll miss him. But can they cover for him? Perhaps this is their best chance of covering.
The one good news, if you want to look at good news in terms of numbers, is there's another bowler. The last two white ball tournaments he played, he was the leading wicket taker. Both in IPL 23 and in World Cup 23. Shami was your leading wicket taker. And I think the more Shami bowls, the better he gets. Just keep on bowling. So, I mean, it's to me, it's a no-brainer that he plays this game as well. Him and Arshdeep have to play this game. I know there's been a toss. I don't know what the exact team is just yet. But Shami, if he bowls well, Shami, Arshdeep together, in my view, is the best combination India can go with in the absence of Bumrah.
We'll have a look at India's combination, but England have won the toss. And like Harsha Bhogle said, if they win the toss, they should bowl first. That's what they've done. But we'll have a look at India's playing 11. They have 3 changes today. We have won the series 2-0. So Washington Sundar comes in and Arshdeep, Kuldeep. Like we were guessing, Jadeja, changes that you expected?
I think one change we expected. Arshdeep coming in, we all expected, definitely. Shami not playing is something we didn't think about. We thought Kuldeep also play. I think what's happening out here is that the other thing they could have thought about was if they wanted to turn around and give an opportunity for Rishabh Pant to sort of get himself into some sort of, see how he's going. Why they've got Washington Sundar is that right now they've been playing against an England team that has lots of right-handed batters.
Yes.
Okay, they've only one left-hand of the order. They don't have any other left-handers. Now, what's happening is if they hit upon a team that has a lot of left-handers in the middle order, then of those 3, if you're looking at your spin bowling all-rounders, you look at Akshar, you look at Jadeja, and you look at Washington Sundar, then one of those spin bowling all-rounders is likely to be Washington Sundar if there are a lot of left-handers. And I think that's what they're trying to do, say that, okay, give Washington Sundar a game, let's see where he goes. Except that the person who is substituted for, I just don't understand. I also understand giving Kuldeep a chance. Shami not playing is something that...
I would have liked to see Shami play. I also think, they probably want to give Akshar a lot of overs. But Jadeja is bowling very well, actually. And the more, he's like Shami, he's not getting younger. Yeah. The more he bowls, he'll stay in rhythm, as he discovered by playing the Ranji Trophy game. I thought if Washington has to play, he might play for Akshar.
Yes.
Exactly my point.
And play that role, saying, okay, I want a floater as a left-hander in the middle. Washington can bat anywhere. So that's interesting. And I don't know what the plan now with Kuldeep is, because there's just really one spot to look at when you get into the Champions Trophy. Do I play Kuldeep or do I play Varun?
Exactly.
Or can I be brave and play both, which I don't think they will.
But also the toss, Rohit said that, we would have liked to bat first because we would like to challenge ourselves going into the Champions Trophy. We've won the series, so it's about now pushing yourself as a team.
Captains will always say that and put it out there, you want to put on a brave face and all that. But look, the truth is that nobody really wants to bat under these circumstances. But they'll just say, look, this is now challenging yourself. Go there, score 350, prove what you're all about. But, At the end of the day, I'm sure they would have thought it differently, but captains have to say things that captains have to say.
Harsha, Varun's not playing because he has a sore calf. So he got that one game in and now he's got a little niggle in his calf. But again, 50 over cricket, I think everyone's so used to 20 over cricket that when you go and play 50 over cricket, these niggles tend to become a little more.
And look, Kuldeep's been a fabulous 10 overs bowler. So my gut feel is Kuldeep will still be the number one. But say you're playing against New Zealand. They might think, New Zealand played spin better than we did, by the way. In the
Exactly. Just wondering.
But they might just say, okay, let's throw Varun in that game. Or maybe just throw him in the game against Pakistan. Or maybe they're just carrying him saying, you never know if an opportunity arises. So, yeah, I'd love to see Kuldeep bowling well because here's another bowler who's short of overs. He's played one Ranji Trophy game, but he's short of overs. So the more he bowls, the better he gets.
But are you happy with the squad now? Because we spoke about this in the last game where Zach was here. I don't think as fans, you're always predicting the 11. I don't think anyone has the answers to the 11 considering the number of changes that keep happening in the team. So
I still think they've been a bit hard on Siraj. I think they've been a bit hard on Siraj. He's actually done very well whenever he's been used. He bowled manfully in Australia. So I would still, maybe they think Harshit Rana is more a wicket-taking kind of bowler. I don't know. Maybe coach captain see something in him. I was a little surprised by what Rohit said about Siraj. But I would have thought that in the absence of Bumrah, the experience of Siraj would come in handy. But you know, we are not talking about top 2-3 player.
yes.
So when it comes to the 14th, 15th player, sometimes you go by what the captain and coach want.
But Joyda, the Yashasvi drop.
Yeah,
Can
that's a
you
U-turn
explain
that I don't...
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. You've got Yashasvi. So again, we go back to that same theory that there are three ways of tackling the fact that you don't have too many left-handers in the top order. Either you play Yashasvi, okay, or you play Rishabh Pant, or you float Aksar. These are your three options, okay. Right now, for whatever it was worth, the first match they played Yashasvi, they told Shreyas he was dropped. Then Shreyas comes, scores 50 and happens to mention that he knew he was not playing, which actually precipitated a lot of things. So now what has happened is clearly for whatever, I'm not privy to what consultation has happened, but they've clearly gone back to the fact that, okay, we have dropped theory 1.
Yes.
We are not going to do 1. So now we are left with 2 and 3, Aksar to float or Rishabh Pant to play instead of KL Rahul. So we are back. That's our way of sort of making sure that we have a left-hander in our order. But the whole way that it went about perhaps was not, again, Harshit Rana, when he came in, when he went out, today Shami not playing. There are lots of things out here where I think Zach said that some of the decisions seem reactive rather than thought through totally. And perhaps sometimes you need to be reactive, but it leaves everyone from outside wondering what exactly is happening.
It almost is like they've left the opponents confused because there's so much happening. So the theory of confusion, it almost feels like.
Look, if they have Yashasvi, are they going to play Yashasvi in the 11? Because playing Yashasvi in the 11 means breaking up Rohit and Gill's opening combination, which has been incredibly successful. They're averaging 70 or something together. So Rohit and Gill is a combination they don't want to disturb. So the only reason you want to have Jaiswal in the team is if someone twists an ankle on the morning of the game.
Which he is a travelling sub for. So he's not travelling.
He's a non-travelling.
He's a non-travelling sub.
Yes.
So if someone twists their ankle on the morning of the game, KL Rahul will play as opener.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is my gut feel. But 5 spinners, that means you're going to leave out one of the 6 batters that you've picked. You're going to leave out 2 spinners and a new ball bowler. 5 to me is... Yeah.
I think their basic theory when you go for a short tournament like this, a knockout-ish tournament like this is, they are saying, we know they are the batters, okay? And in 2 matches, we want to know whether in form, it's not so long a tournament that so-and-so is out of form, we'll keep it out. It's just 1 or 2 matches before you get into the business end of the matter. So, there are not enough matches to do that. On the other hand, the bowlers, let me pick the bowlers according to the opposition. I will not pick the bowlers according to my best bowlers or not. Let me pick the bowlers according to the opposition. The batters remain the matters. It's not going to change in 2 matches. Somebody's not going to say, I'm not going to say, this guy's totally out of form, let me drop him. It's not enough matches for them to do that.
All right, we can go on and on discussing the squad for India, but let's have a look at England's playing 11 for today. They obviously are playing to salvage pride. They have one change there. Overton's out and Banton's in. Harsha, they've gone ahead with that extra bat because the middle order has not really been firing for England.
I think this is their top 7 for the Champions Trophy now.
Yeah.
Because England have realized that they want to play 7 batters. They realize that they just have to outscore the opposition. That is how under Owen Morgan, when they had their best run, that is how they played. They just outscored the opposition. And they're very worried about playing just 6 batters. They're not sure of Jamie Overton at 7. So if you look at that team, what that team has done is, without Jacob Bethel, you're now looking at Livingston and Root to be your 5th bowler, not your 6th bowler.
Yes.
You're looking at Livingston and Root to be your 5th bowler, and you're telling those 4 there, none of you can have a bad day today. So there's no Archer in that side. I think the first 11 that they play in the Champions Trophy will have Archer in this side for Saqib.
Yes.
And Kars or Atkinson playing that number 8 role. I think they're very light on bowling. They're very light on bowling. Pakistan have done the same thing. England are doing the same thing. All going in with 1 spinner and a backup spinner. India have gone
With 5 of them.
with everyone saying sheer spin.
No, you spoke about Livingston and how he's almost become like that second spinner to Adil Rashid. Joyda, do you think it's putting too much pressure on Livingston?
Look, Livingston, nothing that he's done so far has proven that he can bowl 10 overs. I mean, 5 overs, 6 overs here. That means if he's doing 5 overs, 6 overs, you need Root to bowl for 5 overs for you.
If he's bowling 10 overs, I'm replacing Sunny Deol in a movie.
Make that call now. Shami, make that call now.
Well, are you sure about that? Because Livingston spoke about it and he said that he really likes bowling under Joss Butler. He gives him that confidence. So maybe you need to get your weights in now.
If Livingston gives you 10, it's a bonus, but you cannot prep for it. I actually believe Root is a better bowler than Livingston. Just because Livingston bowls leggies, because you can bowl leggies doesn't make you a good leggy. So my feeling is that Livingston is becoming...
That is a statement I will use one day.
I think Livingston is becoming England's Maxwell.
Yes.
That he's there. If he comes off, but it never comes off as often as you want him to. So, without Brook and Livingston scoring runs, I don't see England going far in the Champions Trophy.
And you spoke about Livingston scoring runs. Are you all happy with him at number 6? Or do you see him coming up the order at all?
No.
Or
He can't go higher than 6.
Hey, look,
What is Banton doing at 7? First tell me that. What is Banton doing at 7? There's no second new ball.
Yeah.
He's been an opener all his life. Up
They, have
top order.
they don't know where to put him. Now that they've called him from Australia for England for Bethel.
Why aren't they playing Sam Curran? They don't like Sam Curran because they think he's too slow.
He's just not
But
being
it's
considered
but
at
it's
all.
perfect here.
And
But at
he
number
played
7.
the SA20.
Yeah, but at number 7, he doesn't even have to bowl 10 overs.
And in
Plus,
these
he's the
conditions-
left-hander.
Yeah, in these
Plus, he's at 7, he's a better batter than either Bethel or Banton. So I don't know where they've just shut their minds on Sam Curran.
You know, we're speaking so much about shuffling batting orders and who plays where. There's one name that comes to my mind and I don't know the answers to it. From us, playing 11 is KL Rahul. Because he's been now pushed down the order. We know that he had a decent World Cup in 24. He's played 4 games. It's a small sample size. He's not really done well in those 4 games. But considering the aggressive cricket India is trying to chase, do you see justifying a spot in the playing 11?
Look, he must be doing something. Okay, if you look at it, first thing is that Rahul will definitely be there in the 15. Why is Rahul there in the 15? Because Gautam Gambhir said so. In Australia itself, he gave us the answer. Because Rahul is one of the few guys who can bat at the top of the order. He can bat in the middle order as well. For a moment, let's forget where Rahul would like to bat. Okay, so moment I have an option.
We always forget that,
Yeah,
clearly.
so moment
I think he also forgets.
So moment you have an option like that, you say, okay, let me pick him in my 15. Because he's my batting replacement. Okay, I can float him anywhere. Now the problem is where he'd want to play and whether he's my first choice. So they have now given him a first choice for a fair number of games. Okay, and he's just not looked the part. One of it is that he's coming in after opening. He's now coming in at 6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure 6 is his kind of game, and that's a place where you generally need to accelerate. So I think he's not comfortable with his position. But if you give him a choice between playing for India and not playing for India, I mean, that's how he's looking at it.
I think he's wasted at 6. In a good batting side.
Where do you put him?
In a good at 5.
And Aksar down.
I don't know in 50 overs whether having a left-hander is that important. But if he's at 6 essentially in a very good batting side, you need someone who just go and get a move on. And be comfortable with the fact that over 2 or 3 games, you may not score enough runs because you're batting at a position where if the top order has played well, you've got to go and fire straight away. When he's batting at 5, if he comes in, say, the 25th, 26th over, then he's ready to maximize the tail end And he's got that time to be a proper batter coming in at that number. So he's confused, I'm confused. I just think if you're going to bat at 6, then you might as well play Rishabh Pant. But if you play Rishabh Pant, then you don't need the left-hander at 5, so...
Yeah, because like I said, the numbers after 2023, he went to South Africa as well. So his numbers at 6 haven't been great at all. And again, Joyda, the numbers speak here. But it's a little unfair because it's that position where you need to accelerate, right? So,
exactly. I don't think he's that kind of batsman because, see, 6 is a very reactive position. 6 depends on what's happened before you. Either your team is suddenly, you're batting a team of, 65 for 4 and you're sort of playing out, or you're suddenly, going out there with 3 overs left and trying to whack everything. So it's not everyone's cup of tea. You require a certain type of mindset to be able to bat in those kind of positions. And I don't think KL Rahul is enjoying that batting. And I think that's where it is. And I mean, Harsha makes a fair point. I mean, the point is, if you're so concerned about the left-handed issue, that's the only reason that Aksar consistently comes in ahead of him. And that's what's creating that situation.
I think that's also a way of giving Akshar importance because over 50 overs, Jadeja is the better batter. So if you want to have someone at 5, you might as well send Jadeja out and Akshar plays the finisher. But these are things that, they see in the nets, who's looking comfortable, who's batting, whatever. I still think the key is number 3, What about number 3?
But again, just sticking, because you've spoken about this a little bit, is just KL Rahul and a lot, has been spoken about the intent and the aggression that sometimes is missing from his end. So do you think it's again being fair to him or being unfair to him when he takes a little longer to set in?
I think he should be told, and he has a right to be told, every player has a right to be told, this is who you are, this is your role in our side. He was told that at the start of the season. Your role is, your career lies in being a middle-order test match player. I'll never forget, and I've said that so many times, when you needed a top-order player on a moving day, you're getting 46 all out, you had Sarfaraz batting above him, you had everybody batting above him, Kohli batted at 3 in a test match, and he batted at 6. Within 3 weeks, he was opening the batting for India. So who is he now? He had a phenomenal World Cup as a number 5 player. Is he a number 5 anymore? So I think you owe it to KL Rahul to say, this is who you are in our eyes. But we will stay with that. You can't just be this, I need you today, so I'll put you on. I don't need you today, I'll put you on. No, that's not fair to anybody.
But talking about shuffling positions and numbers, there's this one position that has really, really scarred Indian fans for a long time, is that number 4 position. Ever since
They're back to number 4.
We are back to that number 4 position.
But we don't need to, I think.
So we are clear now that Shreyas Iyer has cemented his place there and nothing should be moved.
The point is, it's not important that we are clear. Okay, this guy's got 500 runs in a World Cup batting, that 534 runs batting at 4, which you don't, because India is a very 1-2-3 heavy team. He's got more than 500 runs batting out there. If now he has to be told at 11 o'clock at night before watching a film that he's going to play the next day, I mean, what more can he do? And he's looked so much at ease. And in these conditions, and the only thing that they had against him was that, can he play the short ball? And if in these 2 innings, if there's anything he's demonstrated, it is that he's, at least in these conditions, he's eminently capable of looking after the short ball.
Yeah, and he's had a fabulous domestic season.
Yes.
Across formats. My only concern is if you're 10 for 2, and he gets caught backing away, caught at third man, trying to do that, people will start talking about it again. But as a batter, going in at that number, he's done everything you want from him.
Yeah.
So I think that position is now sealed. Above him, Rohit's got runs, Shubman's got runs. Below him, they're getting runs. If number 3 gets runs, this Indian team becomes a team nobody wants to play. And the ODI format is the easiest batting format to get yourself back into runs. So today, while everybody is watching everything, India batting first, I'm waiting to see Virat Kohli score runs. Because I think Sanjay said that, Manjrekar, if you can't score runs in ODIs, there's a problem. And that's a very pertinent point. If Virat Kohli is struggling to score runs on these pitches in India, then there's a problem.
So Zach spoke about it and he said it's a question of that one innings to turn things around, and we've kept.
So we'll wait and see that happen with Rohit
today. Yes,
Rohit's got that innings. Now see if he builds on that innings.
Yes.
So I just hope that if Kohli is coming in after a good start, he has that time. In 50 overs, you have time. There's always more time than you think you have. If he has that time and if Virat Kohli is scoring runs, the one player on the 23rd morning when everybody is worried about in the opposition camp is Virat Kohli. So today I'm going to be watching for that.
Joyda, I want to go back to that number 4 because it scarred me as an Indian fan so much. I feel that, when you think about number 4 and someone who's just been that solid number 4 for India, you think of Yuvraj Singh. He's just been there for so many years. Do you think Shreyas is taking over that spot from Yuvraj, of he'll be someone we can back? Or it's still too early to say that?
Look, I think they are very different kind of batters. I mean, Yuvraj was majestic at his peak. He was majestic, but if you look at averages, and it's easy to look at everything else in the game. The ODI game has also evolved from when Yuvraj has. The numbers have changed because T20 cricket has impacted more. But if you look at those numbers, I mean, look at what Virat has done. So Shreyas has done for you. Those numbers are absolutely outstanding. 51 point batting average of over 50. If you look at the history of ODI cricket, there aren't too many players above that batting average of 50. And he is one of those guys. Yeah. He's been absolutely outstanding.
And Harsha, Pat Cummins said this after the 23 World Cup. It's a shocking statement to say that we were actually, from all the star players in the team, he said that we were actually focusing on our strategies towards Shreyas Iyer.
Because he's the kind of player, I think, who takes the game away.
Can take the game away.
There's something about him, then confidence just clicks over. He gives you the impression that he's arrogant, but he's supremely confident. So he's the kind of player you say, hang on, if he bats 20 overs, he can change a game. So and he was in form. They saw him. You saw the semi-final of the 23 World Cup. He made 170 balls against New Zealand. So I think he's done. I think we don't have a big ODI tournament after this anyway. And number 4 doesn't matter in T20s as much. So I think we can close all discussion on number 4 for a while and just see how it goes. With Yuvraj, actually, I'm a little surprised. In my mind, Yuvraj was 5'6".
And the numbers,
Yuvraj was 5'6".
Correct. Yes. And the numbers also seemed higher. Now you look at it, 35 doesn't seem that much. I mean,
even 2011 World Cup, Virat was 4.
Yeah, Virat was 4.
Then there was Yuvraj, Raina and the others.
Well, we'll just remind all of you all that England have won the toss. They will be bowling first. Let's have a look at the playing 11s quickly to show you all the changes. India first. India have gone ahead with these 3 changes. We've won the series, so they want to experiment things for the Champions Trophy. And England quickly, and let's have a look at the changes that England have made. Just that one change in the batting. They've got that extra bat in today. And coming back to what we can expect from England in the bowling, because there is, there's Brighton Cars who's spoken about this. He said that, he debuted in 21 and he said, I want to take over that Plunkett position of being the middle order bowler. Do you think he's doing justice to that position?
I think it's difficult. Also, Plunkett, remember, was doing that middle order enforcing in English conditions. Okay, and I think it's that cross seam in English conditions are a very different thing from cross seam here in the way. In my personal opinion, it's easier to have in those 15 overs somebody of raw pace like a Mark Wood. Yeah. He's probably a more impactful person for me, or a Varun Chakravarti who probably the most effective of the lot would be a Ravindra Jadeja who can just tie you up and bowl 10 overs in about 15-25 minutes and get it over with. So I think he's still far away. Brighton Cast is far away. I think what I'm really trying to look at this match and wonder is that what happens if this bowling attack comes under pressure? That means, suppose Rohit and Shubman get off to a flyer and suddenly in the 11th and 12th over you toss the ball to, 15th over you toss the ball to a Joe Root and he goes for 20 in an over or 15 in an over. What happens to them then? Where do they throw the ball to next? Because
and I agree with you. I see Wood as their big middle overs enforcer. He goes for runs at the back end. There's no doubt. So I see him as a big middle overs enforcer. So they need someone at the top. They've got Archer at the top. But what, do you play Archer, Saqib, Wood and not play Atkinson or Cars? And remember, a lot of these guys are very inexperienced in white ball cricket.
And in Indian conditions.
And England haven't won anything in ODI cricket for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Well, the players have come off, so unfortunately I have to end our discussions, which I never like, but we have to go and do our traditions. He's on a hat-trick. Or did you get your hat-trick? You got your hat-trick.
I got my hat-trick.
So we won't give him the chance first, please, your prediction.
So then let him go, no?
No, now he's the experience. So you're coming in after so many days.
I'm going 328.
328 Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
307.
So we have to win as a team. So I'll go 318.
Who's the team? You enjoy a team.
No, like all of us. Someone should win.
But I thought this
No,
is about...
328. No, our competition only stays for when we have the leaderboard. That's not there. So now we just need to win for
It's
pride.
never there. There's no leaderboard when I'm winning. That's the problem of my life.
Sorry.
So
Story
I'll
of my
go
life.
with 318, 328 and 307. Those are our scores. Quickly, your question. We can't let you go without the joy factor
Yeah,
question.
it's actually quite a straightforward one by most standards. Here goes.
Your stand.
In ODIs, who tops this list in which Desmond Haynes and Rahmatullah occupy the second and third spots respectively? Desmond Haynes is at number 2, Rahmatullah is number 3. Who occupies this top space?
Harsha, we will give you that time when we eat our lunch. We know you've missed the studios, so we'll give you a little more time to answer that question.
And order something nice for him.
Yes, I will. I will order something nice for him. That's
Can I
what
join
we're
the
here
ice cream
for.
club?
Of course you can. That's what we are here for, to order good food. That's what the hosts here at Cricbuzz do. We will, besides ordering food, give you all the updates at the 15th over
I just
point.
realized why I've retired from hosting, because I can't order food.
So we will join you at the 15th over point after we order some good food and give you all the updates at the Cricbuzz com box. We'll see you all there.